I think the cliffs on the other side of Rattlesnake Ridge are better.
The what are?
They're better. The cliffs on the other side.
Okay, great. hard to see the trail.
This is the Strode's Ranch site.
Okay.
Strode Ranch site, and it's there was a roof and 2 windows on it when I first saw it. It was poles and canvas, probably with sod on top of it. It was probably their first winter here. Now I don't know if it was the Strodes or if it was the Browns, because the Browns ranched out here for some years, but they only wintered 1 year.
So hence the name Strode Basin.
Strode Basin, yeah. There's a slab over here where the ranch house was. It was a little, what, maybe 10 by 20, maybe less. And over here somewhere, I've seen it before. There's some patches of concrete that used to have posts in them, probably where the corner posts of the barn were. And one of my friends in the 50s, her family came up here from down the other side of the Owyhee Mountains.
Yeah.
And they herded cattle for the Brown family. Every summer they come out here and they just camp and range the cattle. And there's a grave across the creek. I believe it's Tom Slatterly's. I haven't learned any more about Tom Slatterly.
Okay.
But I think there's a grave up on top of the hill here before it drops down into the creek. And I think there's another one just the other side of the state line.
Okay. Is the grave up there?
Not way up on top, on this rise here, before it drops down into the creek again.
Over here?
Yeah, somewhere. I rode cross country one time and stumbled across it. I'm pretty sure it's a grave.
Did they live in this?
Yeah, I think they wintered the first winter in that.
Winter long.
Yeah, there's a lot of dugouts out here.
Not much wood around though.
They might have had to haul their wood in.
Maybe.
There's quite a bit of greasewood across the creek. Spanish Charlie is above Sucker Creek Canyon on this side. He's buried there. He died in a shootout with another rancher over, it wasn't over grazing rights. They had an argument about, one of them was herding sheep across the other one's land to get to water, and they had an argument. Charlie lost.
And he's buried on the other side of the ridge, is that correct?
Spanish Charlie is buried above Sucker Creek Canyon.
Okay, so further south.
Yeah. You get where the state park is, just down from the canyon. There's some chalk bluffs, and his Spanish Charlie Basin was above those chalk bluffs, and there was a bunch of dugouts there. And I think maybe some of them might have been for the he's got a rock fence that goes up the hill.
Yeah.
No man could build it in a lifetime, and I think he probably got labor from Fort Boise. Probably got Hawaiian labor from Fort Boise. I was thinking maybe he brought Chinese labor down from Silver City, but I got to thinking about it. There was a lot of Hawaiians that didn't have anything to do, and they were just trapping for the French fur trapping company. And there's a dugout over the other side of Sucker Creek Road that's pretty neat. A collapsed cabin there. In fact, that's where I tell people the coordinates for my home are.
Yeah. Out there.
Come and get me, damn it. There's a dozer gouge right there, and I think it's probably just a rockhound exploring.
I noticed a couple of those when I was heading back. There's some dozer.
Oh yeah,
areas.
up on top of those ridges, it just scarred, you know, a lot of them.
Yep.
And going across the top of Rattlesnake Ridge, I think I crossed 2 of them up there.
Is that Rattlesnake Ridge?
Just about straight.
Or the big one.
Yeah, the big one.
And that cirque is Strode's Basin too, or what is?
Well,
is that
Strode's
cirque
Basin
called?
is
This whole
is
thing.
this little valley here.
Does that area have a name? That semicircle up there?
Oh, I think that's part of Rattlesnake Ridge. I don't know.
That's pretty neat.
I was sitting out there watching you fly that, and then well, I'm colorblind. You get below the skyline, then if you didn't move fast enough, I couldn't see you.
Yeah.
But I can see a snowshoe rabbit in a blizzard.
Nice. Your black and white's better then.
Well,
The black and white's tuned up.
it's got to move, huh? It's got to have a shape. Colorblind people spend their lives looking at shapes rather than colors. And during Vietnam War, they wanted people like me to fly over the jungle and spot camouflage.
Yeah.
I got lucky and had bad hearing, and couldn't hear high frequency sounds, and so they didn't take me. But
My dad's red-green colorblind.
yeah, my family doctor had a book about that thick.
Yeah.
Of colored dot things.
Yep.
He put me through that. He'd back up a few pages, go forward, back up, put me through that whole book, and he closed it and he said, "Boy, you're in bad shape."
You don't see much color at all?
Huh?
You don't see much color?
Well, I see it, but it's all shades of gray, you know, or you know, shades of the colors. The colors.
Sure.
Well, there was one page I remember. You were supposed to see a word, and I didn't know which one. I could see them both. It was color and onion. I could see them both. I picked the wrong one, I guess.
This is pretty neat, and man, it's not windy today.
Yeah, this is a beautiful day. I looked at this morning, it's talking like 5 or 6 miles per hour
Yep.
breeze, and I thought, well, that'll be nice, but we ain't got any breeze at all.
No, this is great. It'd be a great day to go flying. There must be a fire.
Huh?
There must be a fire out west, further west, because it got hazy the last couple days.
Yeah, there could be. You know, we get a lot in from Nevada.
Be hazy.
Yeah, it might be up north too. I think I saw something about a fire, but you know, we had one down just the other side of Grandview a couple of days ago. It was a couple thousand acres, and they expected to have it. I think they expected to have it out by the next morning, 9 o'clock the next morning. But I kind of do the weather watch, and then when there's a red alert, I start getting anxious about the Owyhees.
Yeah.
But they were worried about lightning strikes, not people like us. And that night, my dog, he hates thunder. And he just cries all night, keeps me awake.
Did you have any rain out here?
Huh?
Did you get any rain this week? out here?
We did yesterday, day before yesterday, when I rode. You know, the ground was peppered, textured, it had sprinkled. But there was somebody had been out here with a truck before I was, and they had made tracks through the...
We could use a little more rain. It's very dusty.
It'll get worse.
Yeah.
You know, and God, you know, this grass, ever a blaze started, it just, well, like that soda fire came through, just blackened this whole area. That greasewood on the other side, it had enough water in it, it didn't burn. But I was down there by the BLM entrance, and that fire was coming toward Danny Lee's house, and I asked a guy on the BLM, I said, aren't you going to do something about that? He says, private property, we can't do anything. I said,
It's your property.
boy, I'll tell you, that fire went across her house 20 foot high, and it moved so fast it didn't burn anything.
Wow.
It was just grass like this, you know. Her horses down below, they'd eaten the pasture down enough. She was up at Silver City. She didn't know anything until she came back and her hill was black. Her horses down below had eaten the pasture down enough that it didn't burn. And,
That's good. This cheatgrass will never go away.
yeah.
How many fires, right?
Yeah, right. When we get the goat heads out here, it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
And they'll eventually take it over, I think.
Yeah.
So I think this is Tom Slatterly.
Years ago.
Huh?
149 years ago.
That headstone is something I made. It doesn't mean nothing.
It's not?
In fact, I had a pair of pant legs with rolled up newspaper in them and a pair of boots sticking out of the other end with a hole shot through the boots. But the coyotes drug the boots off.
Okay. Neat. What is this?
I think that might be a grave also, but I don't know. That could be Tom, but that's kind of small. Could be a pet.
Could be.
See the two little spires down there?
Yeah.
And somewhere this side of that canyon, there's a semicircle of rocks that used to be a corral.
Okay.
And my buddy that ranged cattle out here, she said there used to be a whole bunch of corrals there, all connected together for sorting cattle. But apparently they were too easy to load the rocks up, so people backed in here with a truck and took them down into the valley and built houses.
See, this is a beautiful area. Is this the same route to Sucker Creek?
Yeah, this main road goes all the way to Sucker Creek. It forks off and goes up over Graveyard Rim toward Graveyard Point, and then just over a little ways farther, there's another fork that heads up on the west side of Graveyard Rim. We'll go up through there.
Okay. I wonder if that's a volcanic cone
Well,
left over. It's hard to tell. There's so much of it around here, but
yeah. Well, the Snake River used to go through here to Sacramento.
okay.
And there's some buttes up there. I'll point them out. They're conglomerate buttes capped with sandstone. And a buddy of mine studied geology. He said those rocks in that conglomerate came from the Boise Mountains.
Wow.
And that was when the river ran down to Sacramento.
Pretty neat.
And at that time the Salmon River was the biggest river in Idaho.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know, there might be gold under that conglomerate. And Terry says, you want to dig for it? And I said, no.
How thick is the cap?
Oh, a cap is probably like that. Maybe more. And it's just, the cracks are just full of snakes again.
Really? This is an interesting area. A lot went on here.
Yeah.
Floods,
Yeah.
volcanoes, ashfall, more floods. It's very unique.
Yeah, that little butte down there where my buddy lives.
Melba or Marsing?
No, right down there
Oh, right
right down there across from where you unloaded.
Yep.
That was where the ice broke and the sediment from the lake above the ice drained down. And also that little butte where I parked to start my ride. And some more buttes down here that are, there's buttes that are, the top of the buttes are all at the same elevation.
Yep. That's pretty back there.
And I've ridden across the top there. That's Greeley Ranch up there.
Okay.
And I've ridden from there to Sands Basin, from down at Sucker Creek Canyon to Sands Basin across the top and back the other way. If you go in the early morning, there's a spot where you got to climb a rocky hill and you got the sun in your eyes, and oh man, it's terrible. It's a terrible fight to even stay on the trail.
Is there any water up in there? Any ponds or?
There's a little, no, there's no pond, but there's a little creek. That creek we crossed down here, Brown Reservoir, is uphill from it. And I just got some good fishing in there.
And
Bass.
Brown Reservoir feeds this creek?
No, not this one, the other one.
Okay.
This one is just a little, well, we just crossed it, just a little creek.
Just
And
a ditch.
And all the water, all the springs we have here come out of a place called Pole Creek Top. It's down by McBride Road.
I know where McBride is.
Okay, it's on just the north side of McBride Road, that big tall thing.
Mm-hmm.
When we have a good snowpack, we get lots of springs out here, but things are really dry this year. We apparently didn't have that much. Pole Creek Top is a volcano, and it's filled with clay.
Yeah.
Huh? And all the water runs into that cone. There's a big old reservoir up there, and it feeds everything out here. That's what I've been told. I don't know nothing.
It probably percolates a long ways out.
Yeah. Sucker Creek, not Sucker Creek, Jump Creek, Poison Creek, Sage Creek, and then any of these little springs that pop up out here. There's one spring right in the middle of the road that goes up over Graveyard Rim that I never saw before until last spring before last, I think. And then there's Antelope Springs down here. It's almost totally dry. There's hardly anything in it.
Not much for cattle out here right now, or am I missing them? Maybe.
Well, there's some down over the hill. We'll be down into some cattle. They were ranging up here. They were ranging right down there at the BLM entrance. They had a steel gate across there for a while. And I've often thought a guy could maybe ride down the hill from on top of there. There's some stuff that looks like it might be almost navigable, but you don't know how many rocks there are.
Yep.
But I've looked at that. My brother said don't try it.
That's a pretty place.
Yeah. This is Graveyard Rim.
Okay.
Those nearest buttes over there are the Conglomerate Buttes. And we're going down this side of Graveyard Rim.
Fast.
I'm told that this is an uplift.
Okay.
And that it's still going up. That rock, or maybe the other one that's close to the road, I came down through here this spring and it was laying in the middle of the road. And that was after we had a quake up north that was felt here.
Oh.
So that thing could tumble down any time.
Sure. Still going up.
Yeah, that's what they say. That's what a buddy of mine says. Of course, he don't know anything. I've been down off of that hill there, the other side of the power line. I got in a gully down there one time. I had a little trouble, but if you stay on the high ground, you can get on down. I usually go on out there, but it turns into a single track, and I don't want to invite four-wheelers into it.
Yeah.
So we'll go down here and catch a road going back that I usually come back on, and then I'll show you where I come down off the hill. Yeah, you can almost see it, I think. Yeah, see that cattle guard down there?
Yep.
Back up the road here, there's a trail that goes down the hill and connects with that road.
Okay.
And then I head out to Sucker Creek Canyon, and we'll go out there.
Okay. We're gonna crest two blind hills.
Each one of them turns right.
Okay, thanks.
The first one's not too bad. The second one's pretty sharp. Don't go over the edge.
Okay, thanks.
So your tune when I go down like that is another one bites the dust.
Yeah. Certainly.
There's a hole up here somewhere. Maybe it's down farther. if you go up here and follow the power line, it takes you to Sucker Creek Road.
Okay.
So right here, I would go back up over the hill, down the other side, and connect with that road that we took down to the water trough. There's a rock gully. We'll go down that someday. We can go up it too. It's tougher to get up, but This hogback goes up to a place I call Four Corners. And at Four Corners you can peel off and go down into that rock gully I was telling you about.
Yeah.
Or you can go right on up over the top, Graveyard Rim, down to Strode's Basin.
Okay.
But we're going to go down over here.
All right. Parking area over here.
This is the saddle.
Okay.
The saddle behind Graveyard Point. And the graveyard is on the other end. It was washed out, the canal washed out, muskrats or something washed out the canal and destroyed the graveyard. It was a primitive settler's graveyard. Well, they had some of the names, they just put up one monument for the whole graveyard because it was destroyed.
Washed out.
Yeah.
That's kind of a pretty road.
We're going to go around there. It's not part of my loop, but we're going to go.
Okay, I'll follow you.
Come on, baby. My brother tried to take a shortcut across here one time and hit that ditch.
Did?
Up here a ways, there was a coyote ran across in front of me.
Yeah.
It distracted me, and I stuck my front wheel in a rut and landed on my face. And there's a video called Plowing a Dirt Road.
It's called what?
Plowing a Dirt Road. Hey, see, the first two are Rattlesnake Ridge. Beyond that, I don't know. There's a road that goes up on top. And Danny Lee wanted me to take it, but we got there and it was just boulders. It was all washed out, so we didn't go. So instead, we took the power line road around a Poison Crook and then went up into Sands Basin.